Ready now? Okay. So today we're going to wrap up our gut health topic. We're going to be discussing the ultimate detox formula for any lifestyle disease. Now, lifestyle diseases are hypertension, diabetes, ulcer, kidney disease, liver disease, all diseases that are one way or another connected to the way you live your life and the type of diet that you eat. Okay. So we're going to talk about the best cleanse that money can buy. Okay. So let's just jump straight into the session. Usually, when we have a problem, one of the first things that we think about is, what am I going to buy? If somebody is newly diagnosed with hypertension and they are placed on medications, the next question they will ask is, what am I going to buy that will bring down my high blood pressure, right? Or if somebody is diagnosed with diabetes or ulcer, the first question they're asking is, what am I going to buy? It is the same with detoxing. When we talk about detoxing, the first questions we ask ourselves is, what am I going to buy? What am I going to use in order to detox? And usually when we say that we want to detox, we are simply trying to cleanse our body system, right? That's what we mean by detoxing, trying to see if we can make everything new again, right? Or trying to see if we can flush out some toxins from our body. That's what we mean by detoxing. So when we hear these things, we feel the need to buy XYZ in order to clean up our body system. But we are thinking of this backwards, okay? Your body has been detoxing right from when you were a child. Every urine and every time that you defecate, that is your body detoxing, okay? Your body just needs one thing from you. It needs you to stop injecting slow poisons into your body and need to take care of the rest. The reason we are having problems and the reason we are having diseases is because we are not doing things right. Okay. So your body just needs one thing from you and you just stop injecting slow poisons into your system, and your body will then take care of the rest when it comes to detoxing. Your liver and kidneys are better than any detoxing formula or any detoxing product out there. Not even dialysis can come close to what your kidneys can do, because when somebody's kidneys are failing, then they are placed on dialysis to kind of like help their kidneys and to do the function of the kidneys, right? But even that expensive procedure of dialysis cannot do what a healthy, normal working kidney would be able to do for a human being. Okay, so your liver and your kidneys are better. There is no other form of detox that is better than having a good and a clean liver and kidney. Okay. And you've usually heard me say this before. When you want to reverse any type of lifestyle disease, okay, except it's an autoimmune disease, but if it's a disease that has to do with what you eat and the way you live your life, okay, 80% of your healing comes from you fixing your diet. And 80% of that comes from you just stopping foods that cause the problem. Okay, so you have to know what foods cause the problem. And once you are able to remove that from your diet, you fix 80% of the problem. Now, 15% comes from you adding foods that would then help to fix your problem. Okay, and then the last 5% comes from things that I now call magic potions, like extra herbs or supplements or medications that you can get, whatever products you now want to get, that just accounts for just 5% of the entire equation. But usually when we are diagnosed or when we've dealt with this for a very long time, we start to look for magic potions, these herbs and supplements and medications to kind of help us. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be the other way around. That should be the last thing that we should even think about, okay? But because we are in a commercialized society, and that's just how human psychology works, right? When you have a problem, you start thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And when it comes to health, you start thinking, what can I buy? You know, and that's why you use so many products that don't give you the kind of results that's, you are actually looking for, because you are depending on them too much to give you the results that only your diet would be able to give you. Okay, so let's talk about step one, the 80% of healing. You have to stop consuming the wrong foods. Okay. Now, wrong foods, there are so many classes of them, and there are some of them that we take every other day as a Nigerian or as just a normal human being living on planet Earth. So we have sugar and all artificial sugar foods. Artificial sugar foods are things like sodas, Coke, things like that. Okay, that's artificial sugar foods. I'm saying artificial sugar foods because there are some foods that contain sugar, such as yam. Now, there's nothing wrong with yam except you are a diabetic patient, right? So that's why I said artificial sugar foods. And then you have processed foods and packaged foods. A classic example of packaged foods that many of us eat are things like semo. Okay, so that's an example of a processed and a packaged food. Any food that comes in a pack or it has more than 3 to 5 ingredients, that food is most likely not good for you and would not benefit you. Okay. And then we have marketing gimmick products. What I mean by that is because we have some terms that are considered to be bad or wrong. For instance, cholesterol or fats. And I have done many sessions in the past to try to debunk these common myths that we have. But marketing gimmick products are products that would then say low fat products, low cholesterol products. The only benefits that product gives to you is there is no benefits most of the time. But they use those terms because they know that people look at these products or these terms such as fat and cholesterol, people look at them to be bad or unhealthy. Okay, so when you tell somebody that this has low cholesterol, they are most likely to think that it's a healthy product. So even low fat products, right? Or low salt products. People think that is the healthier version of things, but that's not necessarily true. Okay. And over time, I've been trying to debunk these myths slowly so that you can know what all of this is about. Some of them are just marketing gimmicks and marketing procedures, I would say, just to get you to buy the products. Because usually when something has fat or when something has salt in it, and you try to remove the fat or the salt or the cholesterol that is contained in that food, it usually loses its taste. Okay, so what then happens is that to make it good enough for you to consume, they then add a lot of sugar or even things that are similar to sugar. Okay, because most times if we don't see sugar and we see other ingredients, because we don't know the meaning of those ingredients, we then think, okay, because there's no sugar in it, it must be good. That is not true. Okay, another slow poison is refined vegetable oils. And then we have Maggi and other seasoning cubes, and those are also processed foods. Then you have the fried snacks, alcohol, and toxins. For toxins, what I mean by medications is all these over-the-counter medications that many people just consume like there is no tomorrow. Okay, a classic example is Tylenol, paracetamol. People just consume these things because of, the entire stress of Nigeria, and they just want to get relief. But you are really damaging your health by taking over-the-counter medications frequently. Okay, and then we have pesticides and heavy metals like lead. So depending on where you source your food from, or depending on how you cook your food, you are most likely to ingest things like pesticides and leads. Okay, so I hope that this clears it up for us. 80% of your healing in any lifestyle diseases or when it comes to detoxing, it's just you taking out these slow poisons away from your diet. If you are able to do this, then you have gotten rid of the biggest obstacle in your way. Okay. Now let's talk about step 2, which is the 15% of healing. Now, adding foods that can help you detox, adding foods that can help you with your lifestyle disease. Now, this session is not focused on a particular lifestyle disease. We're talking in a general sense, right? So some healthy foods you can add is just two. I want you to eat more of the most nutrient-dense food on planet Earth. The most nutrient-dense food on this planet is meat. Okay? Meat, or should I say animal products, but majorly meats. Okay? There is no food, there is no plants, there is nothing else that can give you the amount of nutrients and vitamins that meat will give you. Okay? And if you're scared of eating beef, or if you're scared of eating egg or egg yolk, you can go for other products such as fish and chicken. Okay, so meat in a general sense is the most nutrient dense food. There is no plants, There is no supplements. There is nothing that can come close to what's the amount of nutrients and vitamins that are contained in meats. Okay. And then the second thing you do is to add cruciferous and leafy vegetables. Okay. So meat and vegetables, not necessarily fruits and vegetables, but meat and vegetables. Okay. So that is now a new notion that I'm giving to you. Instead of the regular fruits and vegetables, it's more of meat and vegetables. Not to say that fruit is bad, but meat would give you more than fruits would give you, and then you top it up with vegetables. So most kinds of vegetables are very, very low carb, and they're very essential, and they're very beneficial to your health. Okay. And then intermittent fasting. As I've been stressing from the last session that we had, you cannot heal yourself without fasting. Okay, it would be almost impossible for you to do so. It is a part of your diet. When we say go on a diet, it's not just what you eat, and take away from your diet. It's also about fasting. How many hours you are able to give your body time to make use of its storage reserve. Because most of the time, or a classic example is diabetes. We suffer from diabetes because we don't give our body enough time to empty out its reserve. Okay, so fasting is an essential part of dieting. You cannot diet without fasting. Okay, now let's talk about step 3, the 5% of healing, and that includes your supplements and your herbs or whatever it is that you may now want to add to your diet or to your eating plan to then boost the healing that is already going on. Okay, now, like I said, we are talking in a more general sense in this session. We're not focusing on just one specific lifestyle disease. So I just listed 5 of the most important that I think is very important for everyone to have in their diets. Okay, so we have magnesium. That helps to relax your blood vessels and your muscles. So when your blood vessels are relaxed, you have more blood flow. You have an improved blood flow. And if you have an improved blood flow, that means that your cells, your organs are getting the nutrients that they need. Because when your body breaks down food, what carries that nutrients to other parts of your body is simply the blood. Your blood is for transportation, okay? So magnesium is very important. And then you have vitamin D3 and K2. That is simply to improve your immune system, okay? That's the function of vitamin D3 and K2. And then you have milk thistle. So because the liver is a very important part of your body system, milk thistle is part of this list because milk thistle is what helps to assist the liver, okay, help it to process some toxins and some fats better, okay. And then you have your ginger, which helps to just fight inflammation all over your body, okay. So inflammation in things like when it comes to stress, you being stressed out, that can actually affect you. So things like ginger is an anti-inflammatory food. Okay, it would just help to make sure that your body manages its toxins well. Okay, and then you have herbs like cardamom that would help to improve your insulin sensitivity and also improve your kidney health. So it's not just when we want to talk about diabetics that we talk about insulin. Other lifestyle diseases have to do with your insulin sensitivity as well. Examples are kidney disease, liver disease, even hypertension. Okay. So the ultimate detox for you, the best detox that money can buy for you is simply what you eat, okay? What you take out from your food and what you then add to your food. So a general breakdown of this is to just eat less than 100 grams of carbs at your lunch and dinner. It's better for you to fast in the morning times if you can. So when after you are done fasting 16 to 18 hours, when it's time to eat, keep your carbs 100 grams or less. Okay, and then the rest of your food can now be protein, meat, vegetables, fruits, whatever you want to eat that is not carbohydrates, okay, or that is not an unhealthy food, okay? And then try your best not to snack in between, and try your best to end your eating time by around 7 p.m. and make sure that you fast for 16 to 18 hours. So all of your healthy choices for carbs and protein foods and healthy fat foods is what I have included in this meal plan, this blueprint for you. So I just listed out all of the healthy foods that you can eat in terms of carbs, protein, healthy fats, fats and oils, vegetables, fruits, your water, everything concerning what you put into your mouth I listed the healthy versions in here in this blueprints. So all you have to do is just pick out the foods that you want to make a meal out of for that day, and then you eat. Okay, it's not a meal plan, it's simply a blueprint for you, because I figured out that sometimes with meal plans, you may not be able to keep to the meals that are written in there, because what if that food is not available in your kitchen for that day? Or what if you don't have the time to prepare that meal that day? Okay, so this is just a blueprint for you. All right. Okay, so that is that. We are done with today's session. And let us have our quiz now. I have 4 questions. So how many percent of your healing is dependent on your diet? Please let me know using the chat. This helps me know that you followed through everything that I said. Okay. So how many percent of your healing is dependent on your diet? Is it 80% or 20 or 10? Okay, exactly. So 80% of our healing is dependent on diets. Question 2, what is the best detox? Is it drinking ginger tea every morning, taking detox teas once in a year, or eating right and fasting frequently? What is the best detox? Drinking ginger tea in the morning, taking detox teas once in a year, or eating right and fasting frequently? Exactly. C is the right answer. There is no better detox than you observing a healthy diet and a healthy fasting routine. Okay. What is the most nutritious food in the world? Is it meat, vegetables, or potatoes? Even though potato is a vegetable, but is it meat, vegetables, or potatoes? The most nutrient-dense food in the world. Yes, that's meat. And then lastly, which of these help to strengthen your immune system? So if you want to improve your immune system, what are some of, if you want to get a vitamin or a herb or a supplement, which of these targets boosting your immune system? Is it omega-3, turmeric, or vitamin D2? It's meant to be D3 and K2. I made a mistake there. But which of these do you think helps to strengthen your immune system? Yes, vitamin D3 and K2. All right, so now I'll take your questions. Let me take your questions now. And if there are no questions, we can call it a night. Okay? So let me know if you have any questions. And if you don't have questions, you are free to leave. Thank you so much for joining me live today. I hope that you learned something and this session was beneficial to you. Okay? So please ask me any questions. And if there are none, you are free to leave. You're welcome. Okay, cardamom is a herb. It's a natural plant that grows, and I got to know about cardamom while researching last year. Okay, so cardamom it acts as an antioxidant and it also supports your kidneys. That's why it's beneficial for hypertensive patients. Okay, that's the only reason it's beneficial, because it helps with your kidneys. And if the better your kidneys, the better your blood volume, um the better detoxified your body is. Okay. Yes. So cardamom is simply a natural herb that acts as an antioxidant. Okay. Yes, vitamin D3 and K2. I made a mistake. I should probably change this slide. But yes, vitamin D3 and K2 is easily accessible in pharmacies and, and chemist stores as well. Okay. So it's a very it's very readily available. Okay. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes. So we have the notion that meat is not good for people because meat contains saturated fats, right? And we want to avoid saturated fat because we think that saturated fat is what leads to high cholesterol, right? And what the dangers of high cholesterol would now be things like heart attacks and strokes, etc. Okay. However, it doesn't work that way. Okay. The first thing is that's saturated fats. Your body breaks it down into other lipids that your body would then use for healing. Okay. When you have a damage or when something happens to your blood vessels, for instance, okay, there is a damage in your blood vessel because of unhealthy foods. Let's say you are someone that consumes a lot of processed foods a lot. So that would damage your blood vessels. The reason we have this plaque buildup is that your body sends cholesterol to go and heal those places, not necessarily to cause damage. Cholesterol is a very, very important nutrient that your body doesn't give you the opportunity to decide whether or not you eat cholesterol. Okay, that's important. Cholesterol makes up the basis of your cells. That is, you wouldn't have any organs or your organs would not function properly if you don't have cholesterol. Okay, if somebody is seriously cholesterol deficient, they will become epileptic. Cholesterol is also needed in for your nerves as well. Those are things that send signals to and from your brain and spinal cord and other parts of your body. Okay, so cholesterol is a very, very important nutrient. Whether you consume cholesterol-rich foods or you do not consume cholesterol-rich foods, your body would still produce cholesterol. Okay, so saturated fats, we want to avoid it because we think that it raises our cholesterol. But when everything gets broken down in your body, cholesterol is then divided into two things. The LDL cholesterol that we term as bad cholesterol, and then we have the HDL cholesterol. Now, LDL cholesterol is not bad the way we think it to be. It's actually a very healthy cholesterol because that's the cholesterol that your body then sends out. It is low density. That means that it is very fluffy, very healthy. HDL cholesterol is the cholesterol that your body has already used to do its healing and to make or to repair other things. HDL cholesterol is what your body then brings back as the end product. Okay. But because we have this notion that LDL is bad, we want to avoid it. LDL is just healthy cholesterol that is fluffy, that your body would then send out when you have issues or when you need repair. For instance, when somebody's blood vessel is damaged, okay, so your body then sends out that LDL cholesterol to go and heal that blood vessel. However, if somebody is sick, even though it doesn't show on your body that you are sick, but if you are dealing with lifestyle issues or you are in the process of becoming a hypertensive patient or a diabetic patient or a liver disease patient or a kidney disease patient, you are not okay. All those toxins and free radicals and oxidative stress that harm your body would then attack that LDL cholesterol. And so that LDL then gets stuck inside that blood vessel that it's going to heal. Okay. So instead of treating the cholesterol as the bad guy, we have to treat other things that damage the cholesterol or the healthy cholesterol that our body makes. Because whether you like it or not, you are going to have cholesterol in your body system. Okay. So instead of bringing down the cholesterol by all means, why don't we treat what is wrong or what is damaging the cholesterol, which is the sugar, the processed foods, the toxins that we consume? When we do that, your body would automatically have a healthy balance of LDL cholesterol and HDL cholesterol. Now, if you bring a lipid profile test to me and ask me to read that lipid profile or to let you know if you have high cholesterol, I wouldn't even look at your total cholesterol. What I would look at is your VLDL. That is what I'm most concerned about because that's VLDL marker then shows you how many of your good cholesterol is being damaged. Okay. And I would also look at your triglycerides and I'll look at your blood sugar because those are the markers that will tell me how much damage is being done in your body system, not necessarily LDL and HDL. Okay, because LDL simply means that your cholesterol is low density, which means it's very healthy. And HDL cholesterol means that it is then high density, which means that your body has sent it out and it has come back to your liver for proper to be recycled. Okay, so I went into detail about this cholesterol. I had to break it down into 2 sessions. So Mr. Tony, please go back to those sessions because that's where I explained everything in detail. Okay. Now, if you are too scared of eating red meat, because if you are still of the notion that it's going to raise your blood pressure, you can go for white meats. Okay, that's things like turkey and chicken. But honestly, there is no food in this world that will give you the amount of nutrients and the amount of benefits that meat can give to you, can give to you. There is no other food. Okay, it is the most nutritious food that we have available to us as human beings. Okay, so I know that it's a bit confusing, and because it is not the normal thing that you are used to hearing, it can also be difficult to accept. Okay, so I would encourage you to read. First of all, go back to those sessions. I included the research papers, so you can go back to that session. It's available on my YouTube channel. Okay, go back to that session, listen to it, and then make your own research. Okay, so I hope that that is helpful to you. Okay, I hope that that's helpful to you. Usually, when people are above 40, that's when they are more prone to all these lifestyle diseases. And majority of the time, when you follow information like reduce your meat and reduce your fatty foods, most people don't still get better. Okay, most people still don't get better because you are missing some necessary nutrients. That multivitamin that we buy from the supermarkets and pharmacies, okay, egg alone can give you the benefits of that multivitamin. Okay, egg alone is like nature's multivitamin to you. Okay, so most of these things that we then have as refined, it is already included as part of nature. But because of mainstream media information and outdated information as well, most of us don't get the benefits that we really, really need. Okay, yes. So I hope that answers your question. I think I've stressed, I think I've talked on it enough. Okay. Oh, it's definitely better to boil your meat. Okay, because frying your meat would then require that you fry it with either vegetable oil. But if you're frying with healthy oils like coconut or palm oil, no problem. Okay. Yes, but it would be better to fry your meats, to boil your meats, sorry. Okay. But if you are frying with healthy oils, there is no problem. Okay. All right. All right. Any other question? If there is no other question, you are free to leave. Okay. All right. So I take it that there is no other question. You're very welcome. So I would see us again next week, Sunday, by God's grace. Okay. So take care of yourself and just send a message on WhatsApp if you need me. I would see you again live next week, Sunday. Bye.